Welcome back to another episode of the Any Given Day podcast. In today's episode, we're going to go over some roster movements, along with some bowl reviews and some bowl previews, including the college football playoff semifinals happening on New Year's Day. So sit back, relax, and get ready for another exciting episode of the Any Given Day podcast. Welcome back, everybody. So we're going to start this off, like we said before, with our roster news. We're going to run through this real quick. There's not a whole lot today. But started off, Texas quarterback Malik Murphy is committed to Duke. That's definitely a good move for Duke. Obviously, they needed a quarterback with Riley Leonard transferring to Notre Dame. So, any thoughts on that?
Definitely a decision.
I don't necessarily think it was a great decision for Malik, because to go from Texas to Duke, but they needed a quarterback. He'll get a chance to start. Obviously, at Texas, he wasn't going to get a chance, really. If Quinn Ewers comes back this year, and Arch Manning probably was, if not already, was going to pass him on the depth chart. So he didn't really have a choice but to get out, and every big school kind of already has somebody or is targeting somebody else other than him. So what can you do? Next, we got Tate Rodemaker. He's officially entered the transfer portal, so he won't be playing in the Orange Bowl. We'll
get a bit more into that later on when we actually discuss the Orange Bowl, but it's not looking good for Florida State.
No, I mean, Florida is, like you said, the bad news keeps coming from Florida State, obviously down to their third-string quarterback. So, fun. Next up, Trevor Etienne, obviously Florida's running back, has committed to Georgia. Obviously, Florida fans not happy about that, lest we not forget that Jalen Kimber and Brenton Cox from Georgia committed to Florida via the transfer portal. So, he who without sin can throw the first stone. I'm just saying.
Agreed. I will say one funny thing I saw when it was announced that he committed to Georgia on Twitter. He announced it on Christmas Day, and on Twitter there was a picture of a Florida fan, and this was not AI generated, but he legitimately opened up his Christmas Day present, and it was a Florida Trevor Etienne jersey. Right after he had announced it.
That's unfortunate.
Oh, it is very unfortunate.
Yeah, to get away from all the banter, obviously, I think it's a good move for Etienne. I mean, Georgia's obviously got a pretty good history with running backs. They got a couple good running backs in the NFL right now, so he's got a chance to come in, and with the depth problems that Georgia had last year running back, they definitely weren't going to not take somebody, and I think he has a chance to be a big part of this offense next year. Especially with how versatile he is with the ball in his hands. If you can get it to him out of the backfield or handing it off to him, he's going to be good. And Mike Bobo's going to find a way to, use him effectively.
Yeah. The only thing I will say is the one thing that they will be working him on almost immediately will probably be the blitz pickup. That's his 1 weak spot. He is not a great pass protector. So they will be working on that with him.
Yeah, but Georgia's done it with other running backs before, so it's not like it's something new. They've had running backs in the past that weren't great blockers, but they've done it before. So, and next up is Joe Milton has opted out of the Citrus Bowl. So, I mean, whatever, I guess.
See, and I want to talk a bit more about that when we actually get to that prediction as well. It's actually probably a smart move. His agent probably told him to do it. Because going against that Iowa defense, they're always in zone. Always. Terrible idea. Terrible idea to put him against that. You know what's even a worse idea?
What?
Starting a quarterback who's never played before, never played it down before, never started a game before, I should say, against Iowa's defense.
Yep.
Anyways,
Yeah,
like I
I
said,
agree.
we'll get to that. We'll get to that.
Yeah. And the last bit of roster movement we got, which happened about an hour ago, Damani Jackson, former 5-star from USC, has committed to Alabama. Obviously, Alabama's been very good at taking corners and turning them into something great. Got a good bit of corners in the, or at least defensive backs in general, including safeties in the NFL. So,
Yeah.
pretty good move for Damani, I'd say.
Yeah. He needed to go somewhere where he was going to start immediately. And well, some people say, well, why didn't he follow his defensive back coach over Georgia?
I mean,
he was going to be fighting. Like there was no guarantee that he would get any playing time at all.
right.
He needed to go somewhere where he could secure playing time, which I think, if I remember correctly, it came down to Alabama and Michigan for him, which is pretty hilarious because he was going to wind up at bowl practices in Pasadena anyway. So basically, they're coming up. Alabama's come over there, and now they're just basically picking him up and taking him over to Tuscaloosa.
Pretty much.
Yeah, so.
All right. So we'll move on to our bowl reviews. First up is the Gasparilla Bowl. Georgia Tech defeated UCF 30-17. This is the first bowl win for Georgia Tech since, 2009?
I thought it was like 2016. They haven't been that bad, man.
I think it's like 2009. Could be wrong.
No, they've won a bowl game since 2009. It's 2016, I'm pretty sure.
We'll see. I'll look this up afterwards.
We will. Anyways, you were right about this one. I was wrong. I picked UCF. I obviously, anyone who follows us on Twitter, they'll have seen that I did tweet out. So this is what it was like to be an Auburn fan on the Gus Bus. Just lots and lots of disappointment, empty promises and disappointment. Georgia Tech came to play. At the end of the day, that's the one thing that keeps sticking out in my mind. I'm really starting to believe in Brent Key. I'm really starting to believe that he was the right hire for this team and for this program. And when you get an alum who knows what they're doing to come back and coach their alma mater, it's amazing what can happen. So he loves Georgia Tech. Anyways,
absolutely. Oh, you're good. I mean, it's exactly what you said. Brent Key's gonna be very good, and he's gonna have Georgia Tech, competing. I don't know if it'll be next year, but they're gonna be good. I mean, it's like you said. I mean, you look at like Kirby Smart at Georgia. I mean, he knew what he was doing. He came in there and he turned that program around.
Mm-hmm.
And Brent Key has the potential to do something similar at Georgia Tech.
Yes.
So this is obviously a very good win for them against another Power 5 team. So
it really
nothing
is
to be ashamed about.
Yeah, and I will say it will be a bit harder for Brent Key because of the educational standards over at Tech. Like, lest we not forget that is one thing that has also held them back. But I'm starting to believe that if anyone can do it, it's him. So
yeah, he's done very good since he came in. So it's only up from here.
Yeah.
Next up is the Birmingham Bowl. Duke defeated Troy 17-10. We both picked Troy,
and we were both wrong.
I mean, Duke didn't blow them out or nothing. But
no. One score.
Still, all that matters is you're winning when that clock hits 0. And Duke did it. So
Agreed.
Doesn't matter how ugly it was. Duke came in and they won. So
yeah.
You want to pronounce this next one? I don't know how to pronounce that.
That would be the Camellia Bowl. The reason I know how to pronounce that is because a former teammate of mine played in it and won one or two of them. Anyways,
Awesome.
yeah, Trey Lamb. Shout out Trey Lamb, quarterback coach over at Virginia. Anyways,
Awesome.
Northern Illinois defeated Arkansas State 21-19. We both had Arkansas State in this one, and there was a bit of a controversial ending with this one. So Arkansas State got called for an offsides on an onside kick with like a few seconds left in the game. When I saw the replay, it didn't look like anyone was offsides to me. I think it was a terrible call personally, but that's just me. It was not. I don't know what to think. It sucks when refs go and ruin a good game, and I feel like they did that.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen the play, so I'll have to watch that and post my review on TikTok probably on what I think of the call. But it was a close game, so I mean, it was a good game. So you can't be too mad about it. But obviously, you hate when refs end up coming in and changing a whole game that was a really good game beforehand.
Yeah.
And it just ruins what was a great game. So it's a shame. But Northern Illinois obviously pulls it out, beats Arkansas State. So now for this next one, I got a little food for thought for you. All right.
Oh.
So I'm a history guy, right? I love history.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I went to college for.
Most of us are.
And I want you to think about this for a second. So it was the Armed Forces Bowl. Air Force defeated James Madison, right?
Mm-hmm.
Imagine you go back in time, right? And you tell James Madison that the university that he is named after is playing the United States Air Force in a bowl game.
That would actually be kind of funny.
He'd be confused.
He
So
would
what
be
do you
confused because he would be like, "Wait, what's an Air Force?"
Right. Like, he'd be thoroughly confused.
What's an Air Force? We're just now getting used to this naval idea.
Right. Like, it just popped in my head the other day, and I haven't been able to stop thinking about it. So.
Nerd.
Yeah, sorry.
No, it's all good.
But we both picked James Madison in this one. Obviously, they had a great year.
How un-American of us to pick against the military academy in the Armed Forces Bowl, and we were proven wrong thusly.
What? James Madison was like a founding father, so it wasn't un-American either way, but still. It was the Armed Forces Bowl. We should have seen the writing on the wall that Air Force was going to win this.
We really should have.
But, always good to see an Armed Force, any of the
military academy,
the military academies to win a bowl game. That's always fun to see. So, good for Air Force. Congratulations. Next up, the famous Idaho Potato Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Georgia State defeated Utah State. And I mean throttled them. 45-22. Now, what did I tell you? We got to stick with the home state teams.
Yeah.
And you didn't believe me.
I was wrong.
You betrayed your home state for Utah, of all places. Utah. What a shame.
Look. I didn't necessarily pick them. I didn't pick Utah State and the rest of their little soakers because of hatred towards Georgia State. I picked them because out of respect for their former quarterback who's going to join the Naval SEALs. I was being pretty American in my thought process, okay?
I mean, it's a cute story, and I love the guy for it.
Look, I was wrong.
But that don't mean he's good at football.
Look, I was wrong, but you were wrong more this week, lest we not forget.
Only by one game, technically. On average. I'm batting 400 right now, so I'll take it.
I mean, that would make you elite and a Hall of Famer in baseball.
Yeah.
Anyways, moving on to the Ventures Bowl, I think it was a 68 Ventures Bowl.
Yeah.
You want to talk about throttling? South Alabama killed Eastern Michigan.
Yep.
59-10. And then a brawl broke out after the game when the Eastern Michigan player ran over to the corner of the end zone that had South Alabama's band and South Alabama's team standing for their alma mater. And this Eastern Michigan player, he just ran up. Boom. Knocked the crud out of this South Alabama player. Now, granted, the kid stayed up, immediately turned around, and then the entire team jumped on this Eastern Michigan player.
Yeah, started beating the crap out of this dude. That's what he gets for a cheap shot. I mean,
what was going through this kid's head?
They're kids.
There
was nothing going through his head.
The only thing I can think of is that this kid said something about his mom, and he couldn't let it go. And it's like,
I mean, if you're going to cheap shot a dude, you better be ready to get your butt whooped.
More than just that, you gonna cheap shot someone after the game,
right? Like, it's just stupid.
It was stupidity on his part. Probably gonna serve a game ban, I'd say, at the start of next year.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, the hilarious thing is, Eastern Michigan is the same team that had the Spirit of Disney Award winner.
Of course.
So the kid who gave his scholarship away to another teammate, and then he also happens to be teammates with this douchebag,
idiot. Yep, there you go. That's the right word for it.
I just.
This is stupid. Stupid.
Oh,
stupid,
it was so stupid. It was so stupid. You know what else was stupid? What the crud? I just realized I forgot to put this game in the thing. But Utah lost to Northwestern. And it is not in the script because I went and blanked on it. Anyways, Utah lost to Northwestern. We both had Utah picked. Northwestern showed up. Utah didn't. I think about sums it up.
Yeah. I mean, it was close. It was like, what, 14-7?
Something like that.
It was close.
I can double check the score real quick just to make sure that we got that. Lord knows we're doing enough of that as is.
Right.
And ESPN's not loading up. So we are going to go to Google. Woo! Yeah, 14-7, Northwestern won. Talk about a defensive struggle. And taking the fighting Kyle Whittinghams out of it.
Completely different game if Cam Rising isn't out. But
without a doubt. And that's been Utah's problem the entire year. They didn't have a true quarterback. They did not have a true quarterback. Yep. Let me move this back. My mic is I'm probably deafening people.
Just a little bit.
Just a little bit. Okay, that's great. Sorry, everyone.
Yeah, I mean, obviously Utah's whole story this year has been they don't have a guy.
Mm-hmm.
And, they went into the season going, Cam Rising is going to be our guy, and he just never was able to get fully back.
Yeah.
So he'll be back next year, though, so Utah's got a chance.
Yeah.
One last chance.
Last chance to you?
There you go.
No. Anyways, next bowl game is the Hawaii Bowl. We both picked San Jose State for this one. They were playing Coastal Carolina. My thought process when picking San Jose State was proximity. They were still.
I agree.
They were still 5 hours out from 5 hours out from Hawaii, but they were still a lot closer than Coastal Carolina. And then Coastal Carolina, mullet heathens that they are, just decide we're going to go up there into Hawaii and show them how they do it in the Southeast. And
well, you see, they didn't have any cats on their team. They had some dogs.
Some dogs.
You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah,
My
I know.
homies know what I'm talking about.
Anyways, Coastal Carolina, the redneck mullets and everything, just went and took ownership of Hawaii. So I think that's how it goes. So which mullet is now king?
I don't know.
Who knows? One of them. Anyways, next bowl is going to be the First Responder Bowl. Texas State versus Rice. The interesting thing about this game was that the revolving story around JT Daniels, multi-time transfer, JT Daniels, multi-time transfer quarterback, medically retired a few weeks back and ultimately decided to go into coaching from here. Wasn't willing to completely let go of the game. And he was on the sideline for this one with a clipboard, glasses, everything. I think he's already kind of made the move into possibly a grad assistant role over there. That's definitely going to be an interesting thing to watch. But you know what wasn't interesting to watch? This game.
This game, yeah.
This game, because Texas State just they destroyed Rice 45-21. TJ Finley is now the quarterback over at Texas State.
Really?
Really, yeah.
Cool. I hadn't heard that name in forever.
Oh yeah, no, it's gonna be interesting. Speaking of former Auburn quarterbacks, I just realized something. KJ Jefferson is now officially in the portal, right? Apparently, UCF might be one of the preferred landing spots. You know why that's relevant, right?
I mean, well, Gus Malzahn's there.
So Gus Malzahn was a coordinator for, if I remember correctly, he was offensive coordinator the year Auburn won the national title with Cam Newton. I don't know, maybe.
Okay.
It's a thought.
Interesting.
It's a thought.
Food for thought.
Food for thought. Definitely food for thought.
All right. Next bowl is the Quick Lane Bowl. Minnesota defeated Bowling Green 30-24. Obviously, much closer than Minnesota would have liked.
Yeah. Yeah, but I was right on this one, thankfully.
Could you blame me? I could blame me because Minnesota has been booty cheeks all year.
I mean, yes, but also, like, to be fair,
it's Bowling Green.
To be fair, the only reason I picked them is because I got a family member who's from Minnesota originally. So yeah, that's honestly the only reason I picked them, and thank God I did because I got right. Point for me. Point for me. Back in the positives.
Dumb.
It is, but
next up, the Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Kansas defeated UNLV 49-36.
And would you look at that? I was right again. Oh my gosh.
I would like to humbly apologize. to all the Kansas fans out there. I was wrong.
Rock Chalk Jayhawk, baby.
I would like to apologize profusely. I will never doubt Kansas ever again until you wrong me.
Like, the hilarious thing was Kansas' quarterback had like 6 touchdowns, but he also had 3 interceptions. So they got a bit. They got loose with this one. They're like, hey, let's just rip it, see what happens.
They was getting froggy. They was getting real froggy.
One of their leading receiver had 2 touchdowns on 4 catches and 160 yards.
Ooh. All right.
His name is Lucas Grimm, I think. And
that's Grimm.
And he might be as white as I am.
Oh God! All right.
Yeah. Who says white boy can't jump,
nice.
Right?
That's a good movie. That's a good movie.
It is.
You should watch it if you haven't.
Movie.
The original, not the Jack Harlow version. Let's be honest here.
Yeah. Next one is going to be the DirecTV Holiday Bowl. We both had Louisville in this one. Number 15, Louisville.
Wrong.
And USC came in with Moss Miller and beat them. By like...
Any relation?
No, his first name's Moss. His last name's Miller.
Oh, well, in the notes you have Miller Moss.
Is it Miller Moss?
That's what you have in the notes.
Yeah, Miller Moss. Never mind. He had 6 touchdowns.
Any relation?
Crap. I don't know. I got family up in Michigan, so I mean, it's possible I got family out in... It's possible I might have...
There you go.
What?
So there you go.
It's just...
You got like a successful cousin.
Yeah, I guess we'll claim him.
All right.
Nice job, cuz.
Good Lord.
Look, man, it is late.
I know.
Next up is the Duke's Mayo Bowl, where West Virginia, who we both once again picked, beat UNC 30-10. Same story as always. UNC cannot find a way to finish games. I think, if I remember correctly, Drake May was also setting this one out. So
he was.
Yeah, it wasn't ever really going to be a good, true game for them. But West Virginia, Neil Brown, he got the mayonnaise dumped on him. I don't know if I would want that dumped on me if I won the game, but it is what it is. A little funny thing that happened with this one was the fact that they went and had they had the announcers for this game for ESPN, Matt Berry and Dan Mullen. I was only thinking of a clown for some reason. I'm not trying to be a smart aleck on that either. I can only think of the picture where he's got a clown nose. Anyways, they were the announcers for this game, and I guess part of the deal was they had to go and try and sample all these different Duke products and concession stand products, and they got some mayo nachos up there, man. They were trying mayo nachos.
It sounds disgusting.
I don't know. I don't know what kind of meat was on there. I don't know what other sauces were on there. It might have been some barbecue sauce, and I don't know. I'd give it a test bite, possibly. I would have to see it in person before I actually say that, but still.
You put mayonnaise on my nachos, and we are fighting.
Well, I would assume if the mayonnaise is on them, then there's no actual cheese on there.
Maybe if it's like a brisket nachos, you got barbecue sauce, brisket, maybe you could put some mayonnaise on there.
Yeah, maybe.
But you just give me cheese and mayonnaise and barbecue sauce, we're fighting.
Yeah, fair enough. Moving on to the military bowl, not vol. Bowling season, like this. Anyways, the Military Bowl, Virginia Tech went and defeated Tulane 41-20. Tulane is already missing Willie Fritz.
Didn't we both pick Tulane?
Yeah, we both picked Tulane. And we were wrong.
Wow.
Again.
Yep.
You will notice a pattern. We were wrong more than we were right this week. Hopefully we can get...
That's what we get for using logic.
You gotta be a bit illogical. Apparently. Anyways, we were both wrong. Tulane is very clearly already missing Willie Fritz, who is now the head coach over at Houston. You got any thoughts on this game, or is it just kind of a oof?
This game to me shows me how big of a gap there is between Virginia Tech, who is like a middle of the road ACC team, if not bottom half of the ACC, killing Tulane, who was fighting for a New Year's Six bowl.
Yep.
Being the highest ranked Group of 5 team. That shows me how big of the gap there is between a Power 5 team and a Group of 5 team. Obviously, there are years where you have a Group of 5 team that just gets super lucky and just has a bunch of talent that are all seniors, and they get really lucky. But not this year. And especially with NIL the way it is now, group of 5 teams have basically become a training ground for Power 5 teams. It's basically come out of high school and go to a group of 5 team for a year or two, and then we're going to take you out of the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And give you a bunch of money. So that's basically what this has turned into. So I doubt we're gonna see another Cincinnati or UCF being up there undefeated late in the season and getting in the playoffs.
Yeah.
Granted, there will be one every year now with the 12-team playoff.
Yeah.
But it's gonna be a massacre every year.
Yeah.
So.
It really will be. Next bowl game was the Texas Bowl. Which this was just an interesting bowl game from the get-go. Mainly because one of the pre-game things that the pre-game activities that the players got to do a day or two beforehand was they got to go and chase around a little cattle and wrangle them. And A&M had 3 of their starters out there chasing this cow down, trying to get it on the ground to brand it. It wasn't an actual hot iron or anything. They didn't actually brand it, but still. I mean, you talking about risking an injury before a bowl game? Oof.
Yeah, that's dumb.
Yeah, it really is. Anyways, Oklahoma State defeated Texas A&M 31-23. Speaking of injuries, actually, real quick, in this game, Texas A&M starting quarterback on the first or second play ended up going and attempting to hurdle an opposing player, and when he landed, he broke his arm. And
what an idiot!
It was bad enough to where they had to put an air cast on it on the field to be able to move him. So, yeah, the kid was a sophomore, I think, and then they had a true freshman in after that. So the fact that Texas A&M actually did that well, give props.
I mean,
until I see who was actually in charge of the offense, James Coley and Jim Chaney were both in charge of this offense.
Nice. Explains a lot.
Yeah, it really does. Just no on this one. Just no. And do not get me wrong. If you said, hey, we can't really get one of the top tier OCs, but we can promise you Jim Chaney or James Coley, I would take Chaney over Coley any day. Because I've seen his offense work.
Yeah.
But nonetheless.
Yeah, James Coley's offense has never worked anywhere he's went.
No, never. Anyways, moving on to the bowl games that we were not able to pick. We were supposed to record last night. As of right now, it is technically 12:36 on Friday morning. So late Thursday night, early Friday morning. We were supposed to record Wednesday night so that we could go and get these games picked and get them out. Weren't able to. Life happened. Things popped up. We're trying to get it to where we are going on Thursdays or on Wednesday nights, getting them recorded and getting them out Thursday morning. Have not been able to successfully do that yet, but we are still trying. Anyways, of those games, the Fenway Bowl, Boston College defeated number 24 SMU 23-14. Bit of shock, but also not really. This was basically a home game for Boston College. Boston College. Fenway Bowl, obviously it's played at Fenway in Boston. So SMU had a lot further to travel, and Boston College can be a sneaky good team to pull an upset every now and then.
Yep.
Anything else you want to add to that one, or?
Nope.
Okay, moving on. The Pinstripe Bowl. Guess where that one's played? If you guessed the Bronx in New York in Yankee Stadium, you'd be right. So, once again, this is kind of a similar case as the last one. Rutgers is based in New Jersey, so it was a lot closer for them than it was for Miami. Rutgers would go on to defeat Miami 31-24. I actually saw the end of this one, and once again, it looked like poor time management came to bite Mario Cristobal in the butt. The mishap with Georgia Tech earlier this year, and now this one. He had the ball. He had a chance to go and get a game-winning drive together. Quarterback kind of threw the ball at a weird angle and forced his receiver to come back short of the first down. Yeah, it wasn't a pretty one.
I've come to expect it at this point from Mario Cristobal.
Fair enough. Fair enough at that. The next bowl, the first ever bowl to have a edible mascot with Poppy.
Before you say this, I would like to express my anger. They promised me a edible mascot, all right, and it was not an edible mascot. They just rolled out a Mega Pop-Tart.
Okay, now to be fair, they had to cook him. Okay, and he goes down into the toaster, and then he pops out down there. We never saw what happened to the other. We never saw what happened to his arms. For all we know, they got chopped off in there.
The way they worded it was that the actual mascot, you was going to get to take a bite out of the actual mascot. It was going to be an edible mascot, and they lied. All right, they just made a Mega Pop-Tart.
I mean,
that's what happened.
I mean, are you still going to be mad about a Mega Pop-Tart?
I mean, no, I love a Mega Pop-Tart, especially the strawberry ones. But, like, they lied.
Fair enough.
That's the only reason I watched this bowl game, was to see the winner eat the Mega Pop-Tart. And it was just a regular Mega Pop-Tart. It wasn't the Mega Pop-Tart mascot. It's stupid. You may continue.
Anyways, number 25 Kansas State defeated number 18 NC State in this one, 28-19. Once again, just another case of throw out rankings when it comes to bowl season, because you don't know what's going to happen. If we had been able to pick this one, I was going to pick NC State. I got proven wrong, so yeah. And moving on to the next bowl game of this little group, the Alamo Bowl, which is currently in process right now with less than 3 minutes to go, and Arizona just scored again to make it 38-24 Arizona over Oklahoma right now. I'll tell you right now, if we had time to pick this one, I was going to pick Arizona. I am a Noah Fifita believer.
Me too.
I believe in that kid. I believe in Jed Fish. I believe those two are going to be working very well together. And they might be a threat to win the Big 12 next year. That is what I will say.
I agree. I really like Arizona. I really like what they got going on over there. So I probably would have picked them too. And I really don't believe in Oklahoma at all. So
yeah,
there's that.
So that's the review portion, right? So now we got to move on to previews for the next few games.
Yay!
Yeah. Hopefully we'll get some of these knocked out pretty quickly. Starting tomorrow night, or tomorrow I should say, Friday, December 29th, 2023, the Tax Slayer Gator Bowl
Today
in Jacksonville, Florida. Got something to say?
Today at 12 p.m.
Yeah.
Kentucky.
You're picking Kentucky?
Kentucky.
Okay, let me write that down. Because that is one thing I am going to have to do once again to go and keep score. I'll tell you right now. I know I literally just said throughout the rankings. But when I look at these two rosters right now, I'm going to take Clemson. And it's not so much because of their rosters. They've basically got the same roster, except Kentucky is actually reaching into the transfer portal. So I expect Kentucky to be better than Clemson next year. This year, I got Clemson because they got Dabo Swinney right now. And this has been a down and terrible year for Kentucky. Give me Clemson.
Nice. Next up is the Tony the Tiger Sun Bowl in El Paso, Texas. Kickoff is 2 p.m. Number 19, Oregon State versus number 16, Notre Dame. Sam Hartman playing in this one?
I don't know. I would assume. You would assume, because he's not going to go high. Like, he's not going to go high enough to where he should opt out, right? Like, I don't think he's going to opt out because he's not going to be that high of draft pick. He might go late third at best.
I got you.
I would be shocked if he is.
Give me Notre Dame.
You know what? I'll go Notre Dame with you. Just because I don't really know about this one. And I'm not going to lose points just because.
Yeah.
Notre Dame's favored by 6. The over-under is 41.5. We could very well be in for a slugger. I'm not entirely sure. All I know is Oregon State doesn't have DJU right now.
That's what I was kind of basing it off of.
Anyways, the next one is Get in the Zone, the AutoZone Liberty Bowl. In Memphis, Tennessee, 3:30 kick. Memphis versus Iowa State. Iowa State's favored by 10 here. And the over-under is 57.5. Give me the money line. Give me Iowa State.
Yeah, give me Iowa State. I don't trust Memphis.
It's not so much that I'm against them. It's just... and
oh, shoot. It's in Memphis.
Yeah.
Nah, give me Iowa State.
Still Iowa State? To be fair, Memphis has a bit of a history of pulling out these wins in the bowl games that they don't normally have a chance in, right? So I could see Memphis pulling the upset here, but I'm playing it safe. I'm going to get Iowa State on this one, and hopefully we'll be done with it.
Yeah,
anyways, moving on. The first of the New Year's Six Bowls, the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic, Arlington, Texas, home of the Dallas Cowboys is where it's going to be played. It's going to be an 8 p.m. kickoff. Number 9, Mizzou versus number 7, OSU, the Ohio State University, as they like to call themselves. Last I looked at the line, Ohio State was not figured, but favored by 1. Sorry, y'all, it's late. The over-under on this one.
I checked it a little bit ago. It was by 4. It's Ohio State by 4. Yeah, I think so.
They better be earlier. Like, Marvin Harrison Jr. is not playing in this one, right?
He hasn't said anything yet. He's there.
I would be shocked.
That doesn't mean
I would be shocked if he actually stepped foot on the field and played. I just, without him, without Kyle McCord, who apparently was their best option at quarterback this year on the roster, as good as that defense is, give me the boy Eli Drinkwitz. I got Mizzou in this one with the upset. I look at the offense this year for Notre Dame, and I'm like, not Notre Dame, Ohio State, and I don't see it. You're starting quarterbacks in the transfer portal. You're going to be starting the guy who lost the quarterback competition to him. And if they go out there without Marvin Harrison Jr. and with Devin Brown in at quarterback, and they dominate this Mizzou team, then if I'm an Ohio State fan, I'm calling for Ryan Day's head. Why was Devin Brown not starting over Kyle McCord? If he can do that much damage without Marvin Harrison Jr., what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm gonna take Ohio State, and that is because exactly what you just said. From everything I've read and heard, Ryan Day's guy was Kyle McCord. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the players, and ever since McCord's entered the transfer portal, a lot of the players have said, yeah, Devin Brown's the guy. Like, a lot of the coaches and players wanted Devin Brown to start, but Kyle McCord was Ryan Day's guy.
Never good. Never good.
From what I've heard and what I've read, Devin Brown seems to be pretty legit. And, cool fun fact, he wears the number 33.
Huh.
In honor of Pro Football Hall of Fame quarterback Sammy Baugh.
That is actually kind of cool.
Yeah. So, but yeah, based off of everything I've read and everybody saying Devin Brown is the guy, and you know, everybody, all the receivers and all the guys on the team are like, yeah, you know, this guy's a great guy. He's a really good football player. I'm gonna assume that Ryan Day's just an idiot and stuck with Kyle McCord when he shouldn't have. Lose his job and maybe they're in the playoffs this year.
His job. Like, he might be walking into next season on the hot seat.
Could possibly.
I mean, that would be a terrible mistake on his part. Anyways, moving on to the next day slate, Saturday, December 30th, 2023. Starting off with the Chick-fil-A Peach Bowl here in our beautiful home state of Georgia, city of Atlanta, Mercedes-Benz Stadium. Beautiful stadium, noon kickoff. Number 11 Ole Miss versus number 10 Penn State. Penn State is favored by 3.5. The over-under is 48.5. I don't know why Penn State is favored in this one. Because as bad as Ole Miss's defense is this year, it's looking like their defense actually next year will take a step forward. As bad as their defense is this year, Penn State's offense is worse. Give me Ole Miss, especially with Chop Robinson, one of Penn State's, not one of, but Penn State's top edge rusher. He's out. Their top tackle is out. Yeah, there are a few other opt-outs and transfers. Give me Ole Miss.
I'm going to trust Vegas. Give me Penn State.
You're going against the Lane train?
Absolutely. I can't stand that guy.
Wow, I'm shocked. Okay, yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah, you got it.
Next up
yeah.
is the Trans Perfect Music City Bowl in Nashville, Tennessee. It's 2 p.m. kick. Auburn versus Maryland. Give me Auburn.
I'm going to stick with Auburn as well. Just Maryland's only playmaker was Talia, and he's already opted out to focus on the NFL draft weeks ago. Give me Auburn. Give me the money line. Yeah, I'll take that.
I agree.
Moving on to the next one, the other New Year's Six Bowl, the final one before the playoffs. The Capital One Orange Bowl, Miami Gardens, Florida. 4 p.m. kick. Number 6 Georgia versus number 5 FSU. The line, the last time I had checked it before writing this, before getting these stats down, was minus 16.5. I think in some places it is up to minus 20 now in Georgia's favor. Yeah. Like we said earlier, with Rodemaker entering the transfer portal and Trevor Etienne going to Georgia, it has been the tale of two very different stories in two very different cities right now. and two very different ways to handle, for all intents and purposes, getting screwed over by the playoff committee. Florida State got screwed over. They were an undefeated Power 5 team. Argument could be made and should have been made that they deserve to be in the playoffs. The playoff committee said otherwise. Playoff committee did not go the four most deserving or the four best. If they went four best, Alabama and Georgia deserve to be in there. Four most deserving, then Florida State should have taken Alabama's place, because that would have been four undefeated conference champions. They were in a lose-lose situation in that scenario, but you are seeing two very different ways of handling not getting into the playoffs. Whereas Florida State has had 19 to 20 opt-outs and transfers, including all but one of their scholarship running backs. They only have one scholarship running back. They're down to their third-string quarterback. They have lost their top three pass catchers. Two of which are their top two wide receivers, and one is their top tight end. I think their second-string tight end is also out. Multiple edge rushers and defensive personnel are also out of the game. It's not pretty. Whereas with Georgia, I'll say it right now, I don't think Brock Bowers plays in this game. I don't think Amarius Mims plays in this game.
No.
And I think that's about it. I think those might be the only two legit opt-outs you'll have. And the only reason I don't think Bowers plays is because I don't think he's fully healthy just yet. That man is a psycho and would play in a heartbeat if given a chance. So, give me Georgia. Give me Georgia big. There's no way around that, in my opinion.
I agree. Yeah, give me Georgia.
It's going to be bad.
Probably.
Might be a blood.
Because I think Georgia's going to come to this game pissed off. It seems it's like you said. It's a tale of two different ways to react from being snubbed by the playoff committee. Georgia seems to be going after this like they're pissed off, and they want to prove something. And Florida State's players seem to have just been like they just don't care anymore. They're just dejected.
I would even make the argument that they're kind of in the same mindset that Georgia was in back in 2018 when Georgia went on to play Texas in the Sugar Bowl. And a lot of people were arguing that Georgia should have made it into the playoffs over Notre Dame. And then Notre Dame goes and gets slaughtered by Clemson literally the night before Georgia has to play Texas. And from my understanding of it, that just tore the Georgia players apart. They were not mentally prepared for that game after watching that. Because it's you're going to put that team in over us? What are we even doing? And I think that's the same mindset Florida State has right now. Now, granted, I do think if you were put them on a neutral field, fully healthy, I think Alabama would win.
Yeah.
But who knows?
Right. Anything can happen on any given day.
Exactly. Anyways, moving on to the next bowl game, the Barstool Sports Arizona Bowl over in Tucson, Arizona. 4:30 p.m. kick. That's Eastern Standard Time, by the way. All these times Eastern Standard Time. Toledo versus Wyoming. Wyoming's favored by 3.5. Over unders 44.5. Give me Wyoming, I think.
Yeah, give me Wyoming.
I ain't got a reason. I'm just going to go with Josh Allen's alma mater on this one.
Yeah, I'm just trusting Vegas.
Anyways, moving on to the final day
All right.
of the bowl game, the bowl season slates. Monday, January 1st, first day of the new year, 2024. The ReliaQuest Bowl over in Tampa, Florida, noon kickoff. Wisconsin versus number 13 LSU. LSU's favored by 10. Give me LSU.
Yeah, give me LSU.
Next one, the Verbo Fiesta Bowl, Glendale, Arizona. Oh, never mind. Capital Orange Bowl was not the last New Year's Six Bowl before the playoffs. Fiesta Bowl was. That is on me. That's going to be a 1 p.m. kick. Number 23, Liberty versus number 8, Oregon. Oregon, just all the way. I don't see
Oregon.
a world where Liberty wins this one. I don't even think they were realistically the best group of 5 team. I think that was actually SMU.
Yeah, I mean, it's like I said earlier with the Tulane versus Virginia Tech game. We've seen how big the gap is between a middle of the road, bottom half ACC team versus one of the better, group of 5 teams, and Oregon's one of the better teams in the Power 5 against Liberty, who's not one of the best group of 5 teams. So I don't think this one's going to be particularly close.
Yeah, last I checked, Oregon was favored by 17. So yeah. Moving on to the Cheez-It Citrus Bowl over in Orlando, Florida. 1 p.m. kick. Number 17 Iowa versus number 21 Tennessee. As we said earlier, Joe Milton is opting out. Smart move on his part because he would have gotten destroyed by this Iowa team. He's not an accurate passer. He's terrible in that regard. He's got one heck of a cannon. He just can't. He doesn't know where it's going either. Plain and simple. Give me
Right.
Iowa because just as bad of an idea as it was for Milton to start, I think it's also a terrible idea to start a freshman quarterback in this game. If Nico goes out there and he goes and he lights them up, then dude, Tennessee is actually going to be scary. Because this is a scary defense to play for your first college game. So, give me Iowa.
Give me Tennessee.
I think that's a mistake.
I do too, but I'm trusting my gut. It was my first. That's what I originally thought, and I was starting to second guess myself, and I can't second guess myself, so I'm just going with my gut. Tennessee.
4 differentials already, and 2 games left. Finally, moving on to.
I don't think there's going to be any differentials on these last 2.
I don't think there will either, but we'll see. Anyways, moving on to the college football playoffs. The Rose Bowl presented by Prudential over in Pasadena, California, granddaddy of them all, right? 5 p.m. kick. Number 4 Alabama versus number 1 Michigan. Michigan is somehow favored by 2, 3, 4 points, something like that. Yeah. The over/under is 44.5. Give me Bama solely because if they lose this one, my mom's side of the family will never hear the end of it from me. Like, ever. I will never let them live that down. Ever. You're going to go out there and lose to khaki pants. You better not. Because I'll be raising freaking hell the entire time.
I mean, it would be beautiful for Alabama to lose to Michigan just to be spiteful. As beautiful as that would be, I don't see it happening. Nick Saban's just one of the greatest coaches of all time, probably the greatest college football head coach of all time. And Michigan just doesn't. I mean, Michigan's a super talented team, But Alabama's just as talented, if not more talented. This is probably the best team Michigan's going to play all year. It is the best team
they've played all year. The best defense they've played all year. And Michigan has folded.
No, definitely the best defense.
Under the other top defenses they've played. There is no reason Bama loses this game, should lose this game at all.
I agree. Give me Bama by like 1,000.
Final game, All-State Sugar Bowl, New Orleans, Louisiana. 8:45 p.m. kick. Number 3 Texas versus number 2 Washington. Last I checked, Texas favored by 4.5. Over under for this one. It's a lot higher than the other one. It is 63.5. This is going to be high octane offenses, high action, a lot of stuff. Give me Texas because I think they've got a better defense. Plain simple.
That right there. Both have very good offenses, but Texas 1,000% has a better defense. Washington probably has a slightly better offense than Texas. But that Texas's defense is head and shoulders above what Washington has on defense. So give me Texas.
I swear if Bama loses, hell will be raised.
Twitter is going to fall apart, dude.
I might actually look over towards the state line and see just fires blooming.
It'd be beautiful. But just to see the chaos. But it's not going to happen.
It shouldn't.
I don't think.
It better not. Like I said, I will give them hell. And just to let everyone know, Arizona is your Alamo Bowl champions. Final score 38-24. Boom. There you go. Noah Fafita.
Hell yeah.
For the win. Let's go. Bama, you better not lose. Anyway.
All right. Got anything you want to say? Any closing thoughts before we end it?
I know we're a football podcast, but did you know that statistically, the only thing that Mariano Rivera is better at in baseball as a closer than Billy Wagner is his ERA? Billy Wagner is statistically better in every other category. Yes.
I did know that.
So put the man in the Hall of Fame, because if you're going to go unanimous on Mariano Rivera because he's got World Series rings, if you're going based on player ability, on whether or not they were a great player, he's a better pitcher than Mariano Rivera. Put him in.
I agree.
Okay.
All right. Well, everybody have a wonderful weekend and enjoy watching some great football. And we will see you guys, hopefully, next Wednesday. Everybody have a great night.